ESG Fortunes. Imagine if you had bought Bitcoin in 2009. I think that's when it came out. For whatever it was. I don't even know what it came out at, but maybe a penny, maybe less than a penny. I was talking to someone yesterday that I was interviewing for an important position, super smart guy, and he said how he had the opportunity to buy Bitcoin. He was going to buy $100 worth when it was like $1 a coin, and that would have been worth, I forget what he said, like 1.5 million or more. I don't remember the number, but a very large number. He didn't do it. He said that taught him basically, to have more confidence in his convictions, because people talked about it buying $100 of Bitcoin when it was $1 a coin. What in your life were you talked out of? Were you taught that, calculates to $1 Bitcoin for $1, because Bitcoin is now 11,000, so that would have been, $11,000 for every $1 you invested. So first of all, you have to be aware of what's out there. A lot of people don't do enough research at a deep level to know that. But ESG has the potential, so does artificial intelligence, so does blockchain, so does a few other things, IoT possibly, or nanotechnology, robotics, some of the life sciences, biotech. So there's a few different areas that have the potential, if you're smart, if you know what you're doing, to get 1,000 times your money, even 10,000 times your money. But like the Bitcoin example, ESG is one of those potentially. I mean, it could go to zero, but the arc of human history is towards greater social evolution and justice. Like, at one time slavery was common. At one time, everyone was killing everybody in wars all over the globe. And I'm not saying that, we've transcended totally our, base biological nature, the limbic brain or whatever they call it. But, culture and society, I mean, they are powerful forces too. And learning, and, now you have a lot more focus on social justice, the Black Lives Matter, and, incarceration, police. And I'm sure there's a lot of great police out there also. I mean, I think things have to be measured. We have to make sure that no one's ever a victim of any kind of issues of power, but we can't, cast too wide a brush either, because, the police are here to protect and serve us. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do, and I am not an expert, but in my opinion, that's what, most of them, in fact, do a very good job at. And I call this ESG Fortunes because this arc, there's a famous saying that the arc of history, or the arc of justice, moves forward, but slowly, at a very slow pace. And I think, there's always like moments of breakthrough, like the internet was a breakthrough, the printing press was a breakthrough, the creation of fire, the creation of, industry, mass production, agriculture. There's certain like tipping points. And I think, it's kind of like the 60s perhaps was an evolution of consciousness a little bit towards making the world a better place. It seems like every one or two generations kind of comes back to the same place, but maybe a little bit higher, hopefully. Like, maybe a spiral staircase, you could keep coming back to the same place, but from a higher perspective, a higher vantage point. And they say that that a miracle is nothing more than a shift in consciousness. I agree with that. That they say, technology, they say, could be indistinguishable from magic if it's advanced enough. And so could consciousness. Like, if you have a higher perspective, like, for example, Elon Musk, his idea for Tesla is almost like magic. I mean, all we had was golf carts for electric vehicles, but he imagined, Tesla, and he imagined SpaceX. I mean, this is almost like magic. It's almost like a miracle. And I think we're capable of that in a lot of ways. I mean, transforming our planet and going to other planets, galaxies and solar systems, they're not mutually exclusive. We can do both. But taking care of this planet, sustainability, triple bottom line, ESG, environmental, social, governance. It's famously said that, there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. I mean, investing in horses and saddles was a great investment, right up until the day, when they created the automobile. And obviously there was a period of time, I think a few decades, when automobiles and horses were, coexisting as primary forms of transportation. I think in today's world, the adoption cycles are much quicker, because now we have globalization and things can travel much faster. Ideas and products can travel much faster than, 100 or 500 or, 50,000 years ago, whatever you want to compare it to. But, ESG Fortunes, I mean, Jeff Bezos, I think it was, or maybe it was Bill Gates, one of them, I think it was Bill Gates actually, who said the world's first trillionaire is going to be an artificial intelligence. I mean, there are billionaires today because of Bitcoin. They call them Bitcoin billionaires who did get in at $1 or 50 cents or $5 or, Barry Silbert, I don't think he's a billionaire, but he amassed a huge amount of Bitcoin at an early stage. And I don't know exactly how much, but, he's famous for talking about that a few times in interviews. And there's always opportunities out there. Like who's gonna be using artificial intelligence to become a trillionaire? Who's gonna use ESG, to not only revolutionize finance, but help to make, the world transformed as well. So let me know when you amass and how you're going to amass your ESG fortune.